God had made a promise, a son, a future, a nation. But time passed, and nothing changed. Sarai remained barren, no child, no sign, only silence. And in that silence, pressure began to grow. Sarai had a servant, an Egyptian woman named Hagar. And one day, Sarai made a decision. "The Lord has kept me from having children. Go to my servant. Perhaps I can build a family through her." It sounded reasonable. It made sense. But not everything that makes sense is aligned with God's will. And Abram listened. He agreed. After years of waiting, Abram chose action over patience. Hagar was given to him. And soon, she conceived. The promise seemed closer. But something shifted. When Hagar saw she was pregnant, everything changed. Hagar began to look at Sarai differently. Not with honor, but with contempt. Tension filled the house. Then Sarai turned to Abram. "This is your fault. I gave you my servant, and now she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me." What began as a solution became a struggle. What felt like progress became pain. Because when we try to fulfill God's promise our own way, we create burdens we were never meant to carry. Have you ever tried to help God fulfill a promise in your life? What happened? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. The tension in Abram's house reached its breaking point. Sarai was hurt, Hagar was proud, and Abram stood in between. Abram said, "Your servant is in your hands. Do with her as you please." And Sarai dealt harshly with Hagar. What began as a solution had now become suffering. The pain became too much, so Hagar ran, alone, pregnant, rejected. The desert stretched endlessly before her, dry, silent, unforgiving. Then, by a spring of water along the road to Shur, everything changed. The angel of the Lord found her, not in comfort, not in a palace, but in her brokenness. "Hagar, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I am running away," she answered honestly, from pain, from rejection, from everything she knew. "Return to your mistress and submit to her." A difficult instruction, but not without promise. "I will multiply your descendants greatly. You will have a son, and you will call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction." In that moment, Hagar realized something powerful. She was not unseen. She was not forgotten. She called him the God who sees me. And the place was called Beer Lahai Roi, the well of the living one who sees me. Because in her lowest moment, God found her. Even in the wilderness, God sees. Even in pain, God hears. And sometimes, when you feel most alone, that is where God meets you. Have you ever felt unseen, but later realized God was with you all along? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. The wilderness encounter had changed everything. Hagar returned, not the same as before. She came back to the place she once ran from. But this time, she carried a promise. Time passed. The words spoken in the wilderness began to take shape. And then, the child was born. A son, just as the Lord had said. Abram gave him a name, Ishmael. The Lord has heard. A reminder that God hears the cries of the broken. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. The journey had been long, the promise had begun to unfold. But this was not the end, because sometimes what looks like the answer is only part of the journey. God had spoken, God had heard, and God had not forgotten. Even when the path is complicated, His purpose is still alive. Have you ever thought something was the answer, only to realize God was still working on something greater? Tell me your thoughts in the comments.